Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kiriam Live. It is a great honor and I thank our Lord God for the opportunity to start a podcast, for the opportunity to express myself, for the opportunity to speak about what is on your mind, what is on someone's mind, lakini hana uwezo ile ya kuongea. And as I concentrate on the podcast, we want to address issues of many citizens in our society because you'd be surprised. We do not know much about what is going on in our society. So, welcome, sit back, relax, and enjoy, and take your time to be present, take your time to be attentive, and take your time to be a Kiriam Live audience. Pale chini, you'll see the button after the end of this video. Like, subscribe, and press the notification bar. This is our first podcast, and we would like to talk about disability. So, tuongee. Wewe ukiwa pale mtaani, have you ever met a disabled individual? Have you interacted with a blind person? Do you know mtu ambaye anapitia disability kama kiwete, kipofu, kiziwi? And have you ever asked yourself, huyu mtu anaishi aje? Huyu mtu life yake iko aje? Do they have a family? Do they have an income source? How do they support themselves? The rest of the community, we are healthy. The rest of the community, we are God-given, capable of doing most of the things that life deserves us to do or needs us to do. But how about the disabled? How about the disabled? Well, welcome today, because I would like to talk about people who are married and they are disabled. Marriage is one of life's usual phase or stages zenye kila mtu lazima apitie. Lazima ukuwe mdogo, unyonyeshwe, ukuwe mkubwa, utoke kwa nyumba ya mamako, babako, upate mtu pale, God blesses you, you find someone who is pretty or handsome, mpendane na yeye, and life begins. And before you know it, you're married. Before you know it, it's 10 years together. Before you know it, it's the rest of your life together. Before you know it, watoto, the gift of God, children, are in your house. But how? How does a disabled person get married to a man or a woman, have children, and raise the children, take care of the family? Well, it is possible. We have so many rising numbers of men and women who are disabled today, getting married to a man and a woman, and having children who are both also disabled or also not disabled. But the dynamics of support, the dynamics of family struggle is almost the same. Almost the same. The difference is, to those who are not disabled, they have an advantage of physical capabilities, function of their normal body systems, organism, and in general, they can operate naturally in our environment. But what about a disabled father? What about a disabled mother? Well, my name is Joseph Muriengi, and I am disabled. I was not raised as a disabled man. I used to see very well, and everything was okay. But after years went by, I started experiencing issues with my eyesight. At first, you do not see the signs, the symptoms. You do not see them very well because zinakuja kwa umbali sana. And as they approach from far, hapo ndo unasikia mtu anasema, ni kama sioni vizuri, wacha niende nichukue zile specs za kuongezea resolution, ya kuniruhusu nione computer, kuniruhusu nione TV. But the truth of the fact is, if you are not aware of your eyesight issues, pole huwa inadidimia. And when you go to the hospital, you will find thousands of people seeking eyesight attention, from infants to old age. Zamani ilikuwa watu wazee, but these days the numbers are going up on all genders, on all types of human beings, from the rich to the poor, adult, old, infant, kila mtu. Gen Z, millennial, kila mtu. President, MP, kila mtu. So I began wearing my spectacles pale nikiwa primary, pole too, because it's usually normal kwa kijana kupenda cartoon, kupenda television, entertainment. And innocently, I started watching TV from close vision because I was a TV fan and I was always excited to sit in front of a TV and watch a beautiful program like Papa Shirandula, tuko na cartoon kama Shrek, Fast and the Furious. Well, unajua hizi vitu. So later on in life, after I started working, I have operated the same. But one day, I am in the office. I was working as a storekeeper assistant. This is procurement. And napatiwa invoice. Okay? Invoice and LPO and a quotation and a good receive note ama delivery note. I'm receiving a supplier. Hizo ndio makaratasi tunahitaji. So as I'm receiving the supplies, I notice, okay, I am not able to read the quantity as usual. I am not able to see the text as usual. Then at first it was not so much registered in my mind ya kwamba ni kama mambo imeniramba hapa. But with time I came to understand my capability to read texts on both mobile phones, newspapers, novels, textbooks, computers. Hiyo imeenda. I can see the writing, but I cannot see it very clearly. Even if I move close, I cannot see it clearly. Even if I wear spectacles, I cannot see it clearly. And as a man raised in the society of Kenya, nikanyamazia, because we have taught ourselves to embrace the pain, to move with what we are experiencing, find a solution. You have to do what you have to do. So katika ile hali mtu yangu, I started adjusting pole bila kusema. But slowly by slowly, the day I realized I cannot hide this anymore was I'm coming home. Ziara zangu tu za kawaida, because Nairobi lazima tupige mboka. We must move. You have to move. If you're not moving, you don't make sense at all, because we are living in an economy where you have to move. You have to get the bread. You have to do what you have to do. And so saying, one night I'm walking in the night, I'm coming home. The normal steps zenye natembea asubuhi are so difficult for me kutembea nayo. I began kuanguka kwa mtaro. Nikaanza kuingia ndani ya sewage. Nikaanza kuingia kwenye shimo kubwa. Unaona hizi shimo kubwa za construction zenye watu wanachimba tena wanaacha. Mimi ndio huyo huko ndani. Watu wa mjengo bana. Kama kazi umepewa, piga kazi, maliza. So those are the experience of visual disability during my first stages. Then I realized I can no longer recognize my own brother. Samahani kwa homa kidogo. I cannot recognize my own brother. I cannot recognize my own sister. Akinipita ananisalimia na muuliza ni nani. So I decided to get medical attention. I give thanks to God that I was supported at the children's home where I was raised in. And I went to the best hospital, Lions Hospital, Kikuyu Hospital. And let me tell you, my friend, the journey to try and fix the eyesight was so much emotionally, tuseme aje, it was like a terrorist attack, but emotional. Where you're trying to cope, you're trying to believe, you're trying to be hopeful. But statistics kwa ground, mambo kwa ground inaonyesha mtu yangu, mambo yako kuisha. So we do multiple surgeries, nothing. Multiple eye drops, nothing. Nikajiweka kwenye maombi kwa maombi, nothing. And at some point I felt like, I can't do this. I have spent most times of my life in a hospital, medication. And let me tell you, the pain of surgeries, recovery for people with eyesight problem is painful. But life demanded that I have to continue. Because the same time I'm experiencing all of these things, the same time I am not financially stable. Ningekuwa financially stable mtu yangu, si nikufunga tu macho nikae pale na mwambie excuse me niletee bacon. Kuna vile sisikii vizuri, waniwekee kahawa na sandwich, you know. Couch potato. Choose to be nothing, choose to stay, choose to surrender. But the news was told to me at Kikuyu Hospital that, my brother, I think it is time we tell you the truth. And the truth is, you are disabled. You will no longer be able to see the way you used to see. If we do this operation, you will not recover to a better eyesight. And your choices are three. Choice number one, if we do this operation, hapo hapo kwa meza, you go blind. Choice number two, if you do this operation, my dear brother, it is a success, but no changes. Utakaa tu vile uko leo, vile umeingia leo. And choice number three, if we choose not to do the operation, in the next 2 years, naturally, you will be blind. When ukiambiwa hivyo, how is it for you? You are a father, you are a wife, you're a girlfriend, and you're trying to support your spouse, trying to support your family. You are the breadwinner. Una receive mambo kama hiyo mtu yako. These are things zenye watu wazungu wanasema, these are things that will stop you in your tracks. Inasimamisha dunia. So it was painful for me. I cried many days in silence. I asked God, sasa hii ni mambo gani unanifanyia wewe? Surely, above everyone, ni nini mbaya? Mimi nimekukosea wapi? Sijaua, sijaiba, sijafanyia kitu yote mtu yote. Kwa nini ni mimi? Why me? And it really took a lot of time for me to admit, hii mambo itabidi ukubali. And to think that dunia will have mercy on you. Wapi? My wife was pregnant with our firstborn child. Quarantine ndio hiyo, kazi hakuna. And kama vile movies wanasemanga, it comes to a point where you have to do what you have to do. Italians wanasemanga, I gotta do what I gotta do. So I have to do what I have to do and move on with life. It was so painful to try and adapt. It was so painful to try and accept. It was so painful to keep going. It was so painful to just handle the issues of my life while handling that in the next 2 years, mambo yangu kwisha, because we made a decision that I'm not taking an operation. Let me tell you something, my dear brother. And here is where I shall speak about the grace of God. Here is where I shall speak about what you speak with your mouth is what you become. Mungu moja, hata nikwambie, nilikaa chini nikaambia Mungu, nimesema hivi, mimi macho yangu chuku. Hapana, nimekataa. I refuse to be blind. And this prayer that I was praying to God, si ila tunaomba once, day in, day out. Thank God walitupatia mask, because naweza ongea kama wazimu and no one will see me. I told my Father God that God, hapana, mimi haunifanyii hivyo. I have been a good man. I have been a righteous man. I might not be a church-going person. I might not be as much as a perfect person, but God, I have tried my best to stick, to be an honorable citizen in our community. But to take my eyesight, hapo umenicheza. Hapo mtu yangu umenicheza. That is where, my friend, let me tell you, you stop praying as if it is a job description in your workplace. You begin praying because this is now life and death. You no longer talk to God as if he's a superior being. You talk to God like a brother, like a sister, like your husband, like your friend. And you're telling him, enye mtu yangu, unanifanyia nini? What are you doing to me? Why would you allow me to be blind at this time of my life? Have I not gone through a lot already? Now, hata nikwambie, do not underestimate the power of prayer, because the power of prayer shall become. And today I'm here to speak to you, my dear brothers and sisters, almost 3 years later than the expected time. I no longer use medication for eyesight. I believed in God, and I told him, not me and not this time. I can see with only one eye where I am today. The same vision that I have in the day where the news was broken to me is the same vision that I have, which means I can navigate, which means out of 100, God has given me at least 60% chance to survive. Na mimi napiga kazi. And that's why, my dear brothers and sisters, I am here with you, speaking about disability in marriage, speaking about disability, speaking about ukipofu or visually disabled. These are things of the society. And if I was to ask you, are you a father, are you a mother? How do you cope? How do you cope as a disabled person? How do you handle your family as a disabled person? Because for me, the first time was very difficult. But after God granted my prayer and he said, enye mtu yangu hata mimi nimekusikia, wewe umekuwa an honorable citizen, you have been a great guy, and I think you do deserve it. Because what I told him, where's kuma hii kitu mpaka 90 years? Let me go blind at 90 years. Let me not go blind now, because I still have a lot to do. I do. And after that, that's what I said to him. And I thank God he granted me that. But now, after God granting me that, it's okay. I've heard your prayer. You'll be able to see the way you are today. But now, you have to adapt. You have to transition. You have to accept. And the very first time, my dear brothers and sisters, suicide knocked on my door. Before I accepted, before I started adapting, before I would manage to be a father, a married husband, before I managed to continue pushing on, before I managed to push for my diploma course to graduate, I first thought about committing suicide. And I said, I have been financially saving for my family. Maybe I should just go and celebrate. Because as fathers, there may be different types of fathers, but I'm the type of father where I give so much to my family, I can forget myself. I can spend so much on my family and forget to buy myself a shoe, a shirt, trouser. Literally wear one shoe for 3 years, 4 years. Ifike mahali whereby nguo zako zikianikwa line mbili tu, 2 lines imetosha zote. I gave myself to my family. So I thought maybe I should commit suicide. Celebrate, then commit suicide, and just do not give your children this burden. And so I did so. And I thought about it, but one day I spoke to a man, I spoke to my boss. And today I would like to thank my boss for making a very hard decision. I think now I understand leadership. As a leader, you have to be able to make very difficult decisions. Difficult decisions sio ati tan theta times fraction 4, sio hiyo. It is making decisions that might be painful to someone, might kasirisha mtu, can make someone very angry. It can create enemies, but the decision made is life-changing. The decision made is impactful, and that is a good leader. My boss told me, we'll go through this journey, we'll support you. And in a way, we did not want to do the operation, but I was pushing for operation. I really was pushing for an operation because I just wanted to see. Long story short, we never did the operation. And he told me, there is a society for the blind, a rehabilitation center for the blind. Before we make any choice, let us go there, go see what they have, then come back. And today, as I speak here, I have finished my rehabilitation and I am now hopeful in life. When I went to the rehabilitation center, I found blind people like me, low vision people like me. I discovered kuna watu wako kipofu kabisa na kuna wale wanaona but wanaona kidogo, but bado sisi wote we are disabled. But they operate as usual. And I was able to go through the training. And through the training, it was more than clear that the number one thing for a disabled person, this is where now you have to take notes. Chukua karatasi, ama open your mind, tuanze kuandika, take your tablet. Number one is to accept yourself. Accept your situation. Okay, my name is Joseph Muriengi. I am visually disabled. Accept it. When you accept it, you make it easier for others to support you. You make it easier for the community to work with you. You make it easier for your life to move on. When you don't accept, you are making things difficult for yourself. So I accept it. And accepting as a father in a marriage allowed me to continue providing for my children. Allowed me to continue loving my children. Allowed me to be a husband. It allowed me to continue taking charge and moving my family forward. And today as we speak, I have a 5-year-old beautiful daughter and a 1-year, 8-month young man who looks just like me. Kiswahili tunasemanga huyu hawezi ruka. Hiyo ni copyright hiyo. Carbon copy yako. And I am happy that I accepted my situation. Point number 2 now is now to transition. The process of transitioning is you are exposed to other people like you so that you know, sio wewe peke yako. You don't start saying, why me, Lord, why me, Lord, why me. You can't. When you're exposed to other people who are like you, it becomes much more easier to start transitioning. When you see a blind person doing tasks in life to provide for themselves, you start seeing possibilities. Oh, okay. So si lazima nipatie conductor pin namba yangu ndio aniwekee kwa simu nikilipa. Alright. Okay. Si lazima nianguke kwa ile mtaro, kwa ile baa inakuwa pale hivyo karibu na Mama Njoroge, si ndio? Okay. Naweza tumia hiki kijiti. Okay. So si lazima ati sitakosa kazi juu sijui kutumia kompyuta. Kumbe naweza tumia kompyuta na sioni. Okay. Watu wawili wameoana na hawaoni na wako na watoto. Ati na wako na sijui 30 years in marriage. Okay. You begin to be exposed to other people like you. And now you start seeing possibilities in life. And you begin to transition. Then now, after that, when you start seeing that, now listen to the stories of others like you. When you listen to the stories of others like you, now you start getting tips. Hiyo ni kama umeingia room ya ChatGPT yenye unaweza uliza, okay, na kama sioni kikombe, naweza fanya nini? They will tell you. Na wakati usiku nikifanya hivi na siko sure kuna ukuta, nifanye nini? They tell you. You begin sharing now, creating a community of social support. This is important to you because it helps with your mental health issues, so that you do not jump into mental disorders. And as we proceed like that, life now begins to be possible. And when we go back to the main topic, as a mother, as a woman in the house, you come back home knowing that yes, mimi ndio mama wa hii nyumba. Na wacha nikuambie, sioni lakini leo nataka niwakarangie hiyo kitunguu na nyama, ninyi mtanitambua nini. You will know I will love you, I will cook for you without saying. And as the father of the house, you come back home. As in the Kenyan culture, we don't say much, but in our hearts we say, I will show these children I am the father. I will show this woman I am the man of the house. Rent, lipwa. Tokens hakuna, lipwa. Mzee, mtoto wako tumemrudisha nyumbani kwa sababu school fees, lipwa. Supermarket, tukusaidie kuweka pin number ama lipwa. You become independent and you become assured of yourself that you are able to do these tasks. Unajipiga kifua. I am able to do this. And it shall be done. And with that, you find hope, you find belief. And when even your children see this, they don't worry. But what happens if you're a father, a mother, and you've given up, and you're disabled? The family begins to say, sasa tufanye aje? Aya, Njoki, you are our youngest. Kazi yako itakuwa kumake sure baba asigonge kitu akitembea. Wajiko, wewe, you are that born. Wewe utakuwa unaosha baba. Wewe, Kevin, make sure kila siku baba anahitaji zile vitu za kiume ako nazo. You become someone who is done for everything. Kila kitu unafanyiwa. Utapelekwa choo, utaoshwa, utabrashiwa meno. Yani wewe ushakuwa unconscious. And this becomes a burden to your family because Above their normal life, you have added them stress. Above their struggles, you've added them struggles. They will never tell you, but they will know and they will experience it. And it becomes difficult. And it affects your finance ambition. It affects your job. Because you have to be there for your family. Family is family. And let me tell you something. Never give up on your family. Hata akuwe ni mwizi, akuwe ni chokra, akuwe ni nani, millionaire, zillionaire. Never give up on your family. Your family is the only treasure God has given us that will live on. And if you refuse to accept your disability status, life becomes difficult for you, for your family, and also for yourself. So, you are there, you are thinking, okay, I have understood that I must accept myself. I must put myself in a position to learn about how to adapt. I must socialize and get to know other people like me, networking up. I must also believe in myself, and I must also take care of the mental health. So what next? What next after that? After I've accepted myself, after you've learned the skills, after now you're saying, okay, sasa nimejiamini tuende kazi. What's next? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we go towards, what do you have? In Kiswahili we say mkono mtupu haulambwi. And in transition is now whereby we ask you, what do you have that you can continue doing? If you used to be a singer, macho imeenda, sauti ijaenda. Okay? You can transition yourself to now the workplace environment. If you used to be a teacher, unaandikia watu, the equation for chemical X and blue is rasta colors. You can't write for sure, but you can teach. And there are many methods. So for me, the way I believe is like this. For a disabled person to be shifted back into the community, to be transitioned successfully to the workplace environment, number one, we begin with what skills do they have? What qualification of education do they have? So for me, I am very lucky that I am a counselor. I've just graduated as a counselor. Makofi, nashukuru sana Mungu Baba. And also I am a professional jewelry designer in Kenya, Nairobi. And that's the skills that I begin with. So if someone comes and says, wow, I am inspired by you, what can you do? I can begin by saying, I am a qualified counselor with a diploma in counseling and psychology. I am also a professional jewelry designer in Kenya, Nairobi. I am a teacher in Braille education. Or you can say, I am a skilled computer survey individual. Yani wewe ikifika mambo ya computer, you are very well learned. When you have skills like that, it is easier for someone to say, beautiful. I will let you know as soon as that opportunity comes. Or, that's a very good thing. I was even looking for a receptionist. Umesema unaweza finya Excel. Unaweza andika barua ya kuvuta mtu kazi. Kuja Monday. With what you have, God helps you to supplement that and add on it. And it becomes a perfect equation that works. And you no longer feel blind. You no longer feel isolated. You no longer feel rejected. Okay? So as a disabled person, turn to your skills, turn to your talents to save you, to employ you, to put food on the table. And the other part is also to align yourself with organizations, individuals, support groups that are just like you so that you know how they move. Daktari wanakaa na madaktari wenzao so that kama hakuna kazi wanajua kazi iko wapi za madaktari. Wewe huwezi kuwa wewe ni daktari unakaa na watu wa matatu. Na watu wa matatu hawajui kazi ya daktari iko wapi. Mtu wa matatu atajua mambo ya magari, licenses, routes, mambo za transport. So stick within your profession and the path will be clear for you. So that's also a way for a disabled person to do so. So maybe uko hapo unasema, wewe unasema nini? Mimi sina kitu. Siwezi imba, siwezi kohoa. What do I do? Well, in our society today, in our world today, tuko katika the era of mtandao, internet wave. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, Springo, Swango, zote. These are all social media platforms that have access to information. Na siku hizi sio kama zamani, you must travel from here to Timbuktu to study. These days, ni uamuke 5, piga mswaki, weka chai yako kando, kaa chini. Open your laptop, open your phone, access the internet, and whatever you wish to learn is right there. Mambo imekuwa rahisi kwetu mtu yangu. So there are no excuses for you to get new skills. So I will give you, there's something we call Coursera. If you are disabled and you're looking to earn skills, there's something called Coursera. Coursera, you can go to the comment, ask me, and I'll tell you the spelling, and you can even contact us through the mobile details that is always posted on the YouTube live video for more details. So there's a platform called Coursera whereby you can learn new skills from computer to marketing, and it's completely free. There are also packages within there zenye unalipia, and the good thing about this is there's certificate. So you are there, unajiuliza, how can I go and learn new skills and I do not have money? There you go. But how do you learn these things if you're not within the environment of people like you? You don't. You have to put yourself there. So those are some of the ways, mtu yangu, you begin moving around in the Ruto economy, my brother. Remember, the government is a business. It operates as business. And business rules is, at the end of the road, the house always wins. And you are just part of the process. So take care of yourself. Okay? Now, I would like to share some of the biggest challenges that we experience, because maybe someone is there, is thinking, wewe unaongea, wewe mambo ishakuwa rahisi, mimi niko hapa, sina chakula, sina anything. My experience in marriage has been very difficult. My experience in marriage has been very, very difficult, and it has not been very easy. To find support from your partner. To find support that your partner will say, I will support you, has been very difficult for me. I have been abused in marriage. Not sexually, but in many different ways. These days, abuse comes in many ways. Financially, physical, emotional. But my marriage became so toxic that we have separated more than 4 times. We've had violence within the marriage. We have had so many situations that I cannot speak about here today, because things can get very dangerous in marriage, and we cannot say much about that. And as a person living with disability, it was hard for me to adapt between toxic marriage and my life as a disabled person, and also life circumstances za kawaida to the economy of Kenya. But I kept praying. I kept believing. As a person living with disability, I've been rejected. Nimekuwa rejected. And you begin losing people who you loved, who you knew. But the good thing is, for every person that walks away from your life and you become isolated, God gives you the right person in your life. Maisha imekuwa very difficult for me as a disabled person. Until today, I have not fully accepted my disability. So I pray to God that in everything I do, He gives me the grace and the strength to continue. Because a person living with disability and you're married, the marriage support system is important for you to survive. So if you are there, you're disabled, married couples, I'll tell you, kazi imeanza sai. Support each other, work with each other. Be the eye of the person that cannot see. Be the leg of the person that cannot walk. Be the ear of the person that cannot hear. Because it is possible for people to be married and disabled. Women, I know it could be difficult for you. I know it's stressful to adapt. Huyu ni mtu nilimpata akiwa sawa. How do I work with him? How do I show off to my friends? It's difficult. How can I be comfortable around him anymore? Well, ladies and gentlemen, one step at a time. And that's why I started this podcast, to speak about matters of the society. Matters that we don't speak so much about. But for today, maybe I've spoken kidogo, sijasema mingi, but that's my part for today. And I just wish that as you continue to listen, you will understand that these are issues that we need to address and support in our society. And that is why my podcast, Kiriam Live, tutakuwa tunaongea hizi vitu. Today is our first video, but I know with the grace of God, Mungu moja, wallahi billahi, alhamdulillah, one day we'll bring even bigger guests here to speak to you. And we will no longer talk about Lamborghinis, Ferrari, Batomoko, Johnny Walker. We want to talk about what is on your mind, the real things in life. Reality mtu yangu. Ghetto tunasemanga reality. I only believe in reality, not fiction. So, at this time, please, if the podcast so far imekuingia kwa roho, kule ndani, kuliko bibi yako, kuliko bwana yako, finya hiyo like. At this time, if you feel like I am impressed with this man, I want to know more, subscribe. At this time, umeona, wacha nikuambie, huyu mtu ameongea. Lakini ameongea, inanihusu. Kwa umbali na kwa undani. Finya hiyo notification bell. So that the next time Joseph Muriengi, nikuachilishie ka video kaingine, ka topic kaingine, mambo zingine. Unasema, boss, hii kazi tunafunga at exactly 4. Ikigonga 8, mimi na watch Kiriam Live. Na tusisumbuane, kazi ni yako lakini maisha ni yako. Because my brother, my sister, we need your support. Disabled people like me, we need your support. Sijakwambia utuhurumie, nimekuambia we need your support. So, support us through our initiatives. Support us through education. Support us through love. Just love us too. And when I was disabled, I discovered I am not a preacher. Mimi sio Kanyare, mimi sio Benny Hinn. I am not Mr. Joel Austin or TD Jakes. But I remember the Bible somewhere huko ndani ilisema unconditional love. What is unconditional love? Hii ni ile kupenda bila kutaka anything from the person, from expecting, loving without expecting anything in return. And when I became disabled, I realized unconditional love is important for you as a supporter and also for me as the supported. Because we will all experience a lot. But when you love and support unconditionally, na Mungu mmoja acha nikwambie, mambo itaenda tu shwari tu. Haitakuwa perfect, but hiyo gari itasonga. Unconditional love is like putting mafuta full tank kwa gari. Hiyo ni kusema my brother, my sister, my love, my nigga, we have enough strength to continue. We have enough to move on. And that unconditional love is the fuel that helps us move on. So, support like that. Number 2, connect us. Wewe, unasema ati wewe ni DJ. Niko na club. Are you a jewelry designer? Wow, that is beautiful. Here's my number. I have a wedding. Nitengeneze earring, necklace, bracelet. I have a curio shop. Come, jaza hizo bracelet we will talk about. How many percentage do you want? We're talking about 60-40. Na wewe tuwezi piga 60-40. Wacha tupige 70 because I am incurring the cost. It's okay. Mambo kama hizo. Connect us. The other part is work placement. Work placement in a community is whereby organization, profit and non-profit organization, biashara, government, you include the disabled people. Kazi tunaweza piga. Acha nikwambie kazi tunapiga. At this point, technology has allowed a blind person to use a computer just like the receptionist, just like the finance department manager, just like the CEO. At this point, maybe unauliza ukinitumia M-Pesa nitaiona aje? We have assistive devices. Tuko na systems zenye ziko kwa simu yetu that zinatuongelesha. Ukinitumia message useme, "Hi Joseph, I am very inspired by your podcast and I must say you are a very handsome blind person." Hiyo message mimi naona. All I have to do is turn a system that is called TalkBack and it speaks everything to me, making it easier for me to transition through life. So never say, I cannot give this person kazi, I cannot give them a job. Never say never. Everything can be done. And how will you know? Give the opportunity to the person first. And my brother, you shall see miracles. So, tunataka tuende towards the end of our podcast today. I don't know how long we've done, but I feel at least today I've spoken about who I am. Mambo yangu, mtu yangu, disability. Shida kubwa kwa society. Na wewe umekaa hapo unafikiria, mimi naona. They say Jesus will come like a thief. But disability is the thief that robs your life away. But you have to be attentive enough to arrest it. Ndio mambo ya babu, ukiyatazama, ukiyasikia vizuri, you will know what I mean. So, we've talked about how it is for a married person in a marriage and you're disabled. We've talked about how it is for them in the society. We've talked about the things they go through. We've talked about what can you do for us, support us as the members of the society who are blind. So, take the time, my dear brothers and sisters, and now accept the disabled as normal human beings. Hakuna mtu aliamuka hivi akasema sasa ni saa ngapi? It is 5 a.m. Okay. Nataka nipande matatu, nifike pale bus station, niende nitafute njia nitakuwa kipofu, alafu nirudi kwa nyumba. ama wacha niende pale nigongwe na gari nikatwe mguu nisikose kutembea tena. No one looks for that. And no one wishes for that. Mimi Mungu moja, hata my own enemy, I would never wish for them to be blind or to be kitu inaitwa low vision, which I am a low vision, not completely blind, but macho yangu moja ishaenda, hii ingine ndio imebaki, na hii ingine imebaki. I can only see at night. Usiku ndio shida kuona sana, but I walk with something we call a white cane. And for more details, you can talk to me. Tuongee, tupige. I tell you how things are done. So, with me here, I'd like to say thank you. If you've listened this far, it's not been a perfect podcast. Tumejaribu sana tuiweke katika mtindo yenye we are just talking as if tuko kwa base na tumewekelea hapo kachai na mandazi na tumeanza hapo zungumza vizuri sana kuhusu tu mambo ya kawaida kama vile tu wamama wanaendanga wanapiga udaku na mama wenzao. That is how we are talking today. Because your family is important. Those children are important. Your wife is important. If somebody loves you, it's your husband or it's your wife. That's very lucky. You're very lucky. If you can find someone that loves you and supports you unconditionally, Mungu moja, kaa na huyo. Most of us, we say, if I could find someone that loved me just the way I am, take care of me just the way I am, that is someone I would move heaven and earth. Because as we're speaking here today, we disabled people, we are capable. We are capable. Ni ile tu, our culture, our beliefs has led us to see us people who are disabled as, hey, ni kama alilogwa huyu hapa. Ni kama alifanyiwa mavuvuzela hapo huo kidogo macho ikaenda. Huyu hapana. Huyu ni kama alikosea Mungu huyu. These are natural causes in our lives. Just like the way utapata homa, it is natural. So, do not reject us. Do not isolate us. Do not cast us out. We are your brother. We are your sister. We are your lover. I can still love you. I can still do what we need to do as a romantic partner. Macho imeenda. Huko chini ijaenda. Iko kazi inaendelea. Watoto tutapata. And with science, we give birth to fully sighted children. So, that's how it is. And here we speak about mambo za ukweli. Because sisi ni wazima. Sexually, I am able to perform just like you. Piga wana we maliza hiyo kitu. Kazi ni yesterday. It is possible. So, I am normal. We are normal. Please embrace us as normal members of the society. So, this far, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for being attentive. And I would like to welcome you to Kiriam Live, where we speak about what is on your mind. Until next time, if you see a disabled person, love them. If you have the capability, support them. If you're a brother or a family, care for them. And if you're an organization, embrace them. And if you're a mentor, connect them. And all will be done. So, with that, we can sit here, talk so much, say so much, but I appreciate you. Mpaka sasa yuko hapo unanisikiza, tunapiga zungumzo. So, I salute you. And with the grace of God, I welcome you to Kiriam Live. And I will see you on the next one.